Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics here to give you a review of another timely horror, well, not really timely, another horror movie.
Well, it's timely. I think they came out around this time of year.
Probably. Jeepers Creepers, which is a shockingly underrated movie on my behalf anyway.
We're just doing let's do them both separate.
Yeah.
So this is for the first
Jeepers Creepers. This was a shockingly underrated movie. It's nice, it's creepy, effectively creepy throughout the entire movie, but especially in that first like half hour, which I think is the best half hour of the whole movie. That is just really good, where they are driving on the road, and it echoes back to Duel, which I think is one of Spielberg's underrated sort of classics.
Yeah, that's true.
And the whole car versus big evil truck thing, cannibalized vehicle that the creeper drives is really neat and really effectively freaky. And then he pulls over and you see him like dumping a body, and Justin Long, who's the star, and he's really, really good. I've always been a fan of him. This was the first movie I actually saw him in. No, Galaxy Quest was. This is the second movie I saw. But anyway, I really like him, and he really kind of makes the movie. The interaction between him and his sister just seems so real and natural.
And by having it, instead of just a goddamn couple, like,
yeah,
God, by having it this...
Yeah, there's no, like, weird romance thing that's forced in there, which just drives me nuts in most movies. Because they feel that they need to have that. This was a nice brother-sister. You got people sort of combating, and it had like a nice sort of comic feel to it to lighten the tension, and that just goes to show they're human beings. They're going to be funny, and this was a problem that we had. What was the franchise where we were talking about that like everybody's just so serious? Was it Nightmare on Elm Street the sequels? I
don't know.
Remake
No, the remake. Yeah, it was the remake.
People are just sort of naturally funny, and these people are, they're like, are we really going to go down this dark tunnel where we saw somebody throw down a body? Is this actually going to happen? And then he's like, well, what would you do if this was you? She's like, all right, just get in there. And so then he goes down, and she drops him accidentally, and then he's down there with the body who's still kind of alive, but not really. And it's just really creepy, and the tone of the movie, starting from there, is just so good. And then it just sort of kicks off and becomes kind of a thrill ride. I really enjoyed that movie. I rewatched it again recently, and it really kind of holds up. It's another one. I'm going to give it 3.5. Like, I think it really holds up, especially the last, the first half hour. The last half hour is great. The middle half hour kind of has a couple little hills and valleys where it gets a little slow at times, but it's an effective little horror thrill ride from the early 2000s. And certainly one of the better horror movies to come out of the 2000s.
I think, did it come out in 2000?
I thought it was 2001.
I can't remember.
I think it was 2001, and the second one came out in 2003.
I remember hearing, the title and stuff like that around the time it was coming out, and a friend of mine, because we were big horror geeks, obviously, and he was like, Jeepers Creepers, and I was just, by that time that was just when I just had kind of started where I'm still at now, where it's kind of like, bah, modern horror, fuck it, because it's mostly disappointing for me, and so I didn't even give it a chance, because that's just the way it was, because I figured it was just stupid. And amazingly, I hadn't seen it until like this year. I think it might have been very early this year or something. I found the DVD. Had both 1 and 2 for $3 at Half Price Books. And I'm like, okay, I think there's only 2 of them at the time, I didn't know. So here's both of them, $1.50 a piece. Let's take a look at this. And I was amazed. I was amazed. For me, I'd probably go 4 stars. I should have watched it again. But I couldn't believe it was I think the director wrote it, didn't he?
Yeah, he wrote it.
And it's just like, whoa, just the vision and just the sense of just humor and just, I don't know, I really identify with the director's vision of what he came up with, and also the way it was executed. I should have watched it, because I think it was executed very well too. Visually and
the creeper is creepy looking too.
The thing about the thing about is that what it's called, the creeper?
Yeah. That's what it's called on the internet.
Okay. well, the thing about that bad guy is that when if I just saw stills of him, it's just like, it's not my kind of, I don't really like creatures and stuff like that. But the thing is, like the look, I don't really particularly care about in trench coat and all that stuff. But the thing is, the character, when you see it moving and the character presented on screen, it's like the character is so interesting that in a way it's weird, because it's like, it looks so, for me, it looked kind of dumb. But the character of that creeper or whatever is so interesting. You go with it because the character is so interesting, and the whatever. I should have watched it again.
It's sort of like Nightmare on Elm Street, I think. The Robert Englund factor.
If you just saw the image,
yeah,
it's kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, that's scary. But to see him in the movie,
what makes him iconic is the way he moves, the whole arm thing in Nightmare on Elm Street.
But it's also not. Yeah, I agree.
Not like the special effect,
yeah.
But just like the way he moves and stuff is what makes Freddy Freddy. This is sort of similar with the creeper.
In a way, but I think it's more what the writer put into it than what the performer's doing. But just, I agree with you. You understand where I'm coming from. Is that it looks kind of, if you haven't seen the movie, it looks kind of just dumb and generic or whatever. But the character is a great character, and like I say, I should have watched it again, because I think there's a lot of points that I would have liked to have brought up. But I couldn't believe it when I put it in, because I was just expecting Saw, Final Destination sequel. I was just expecting that early 21st century shit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it when I put it in. I'm going to just go 4 stars because it's so kind of, I think it was subtle. It started out very subtle, like you said, the dual aspect, and I think that that one reason I like it is I think that old song is worked into it.
Oh, I really like the Jeepers Creepers song. That's why it's called Jeepers Creepers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the sequel, they sort of made the villain called the Creeper based on that title.
But I can remember being very impressed, and I'm pretty sure I'd give it 4 stars. So we'll go with. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. 4 stars on his part, 3.5 on mine. I think it's a very, very good, unassuming movie, because I had the same reaction. I didn't expect much from the movie, and when I put it in, I was like, man, this is really darn good.
One thing I can remember now is the whole thing is in an environment that I really like, which is just kind of out in the country, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
country, the cornfields.
Yeah, and that desolateness is what I absolutely love. That's one of the huge things where I like it as well, but also it's just wonderfully conceived and executed.
Well, they also stayed away from the woods, which have been like killed to death.
But just the idea of that, long street and the cornfields and this desolateness, and it's just, I remember that being a pretty big part of it as well, and just really great. And wasn't there a word of a third one possibly coming?
The guy wants to make a third movie, and it sounds like it's going to take place in the future, probably around 2018 or something like that, or 2030 or something. But people are really down on that idea because they think there's going to be like laser guns and all that kind of stuff. I don't imagine that would be the case. I think it would just be set in the future. They're probably not going to deal much with the future aspect, but it's every 28 years for 28 days it feeds. You have to. If you're going to do another one, you either do it before the first movie, which why, or you do it after the second movie where it ends on that 28th day. So
how does this one end? I can't remember.
It ends with him getting the Justin Long character.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that ending is so great. His eyes are gone.
Yeah, his eyes are gone, and then the creeper looks through the eyes, and it's Justin Long's eyes.
That's one of the reasons I also love it, is that what happened to the sister?
Oh. She survives.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be the lead character in the third one.
Oh, that would be great. Same person, or
yeah, they want her.
That'd be great. That was one of the things I can remember loving about it. That kind of ending where this character who you wouldn't expect to die.
He's so likable throughout the whole thing.
That's just it. And it's just like, wasn't it like a track up the body or something?
Yeah, you see the tattoo that he has, and then it slowly goes up his body, and then you see his eyes are gone. And then suddenly the creeper looks through the eye hole, and he has Justin Long's eye, and it blinks, and that's the end. And then it cuts to the song, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Which is why it's called that.
Oh man,
where'd you get those eyes?
And isn't there something right before the end where someone that's psychic? Isn't there some psychic black woman? Is she black? Which doesn't matter.
So.
What was I saying? Oh yes, says, oh, I can hear him screaming or something like that, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Great. See Jeepers Creepers if you haven't. It's not what your typical early 21st century horror shit. It's great.
We should post spoiler alert.
On this one, yeah, probably.
Probably, because we did give away the ending. But we didn't give away the ending until nearly the end. So
Yeah.
maybe we can just splash on the screen.
No, that's a
or
lot
something.
harder than simply typing in the description.
Okay. You're allowed to watch the first 7 minutes of this review, but then cut it off because spoilers.
I'll just put it in the description, Jeepers. But I mean, a movie that's, yeah, right, so old. That whole spoiler thing has gotten so overblown, and it's just like, oh my god, it's sacred. You know, it's like, whatever. I understand it, but at the same time, it's only a movie. So what do you think?
That's it.
Jeepers Creepers, awesome. Thanks for watching.